Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, today we are tackling what is, honestly, the ultimate cosmic mystery. It's literally an investigation built entirely on invisible clues scattered across the cosmos, so let's just dive right into it. Now, I want to challenge your perception of reality for a quick second. Think about every single star you've ever seen in the night sky, every rocky exoplanet we've ever discovered, every massive glowing galaxy. Heck, even your house and, well, you. Everything made of normal matter, all of that visible stuff, it makes up less than 5% of the universe. Crazy, right? It's just this tiny, almost statistically insignificant fraction of the whole shebang. Which leaves us with a pretty staggering realization. 95% of our universe is something else entirely. We barely understand the vast majority of the very place we actually live in. And a massive chunk of that missing cosmic puzzle, well, it remains a total mystery. It's a mystery that continues to completely baffle the greatest minds in astrophysics. Section 1. The Invisible Universe. So let's trace the clues back a bit. Back in the 1930s, there was this astronomer named Fritz Zwicky, and he was observing the Coma Cluster, which is this huge group of over 1,000 galaxies. Well, he noticed something extremely strange when he was calculating their mass. The numbers simply did not add up. Based on the amount of light the galaxies were emitting, there wasn't nearly enough visible matter to create the powerful gravity needed to hold a cluster together that was moving at those tremendous speeds. It was kind of like some invisible, heavy substance was adding a massive amount of extra weight to the universe. Now, at first, a lot of scientists just wrote this off. They thought, oh, it's got to be an observational error or a math mistake. But decades later, as our instruments got way better, this missing mass problem refused to go away. Actually, scratch that, the mystery only deepened. Moving on to Section 2, the galactic speed problem. The real turning point here came when astronomers, most notably Vera Rubin in the 1970s, began studying galactic rotation curves. Just imagine spinning a ball attached to a string. The farther the ball is from your hand, the slower it should move to stay in a stable orbit, right? Well, scientists entirely expected the stars at the very outer edges of spinning spiral galaxies to behave the exact same way. They should drop off in velocity the further they are from the dense galactic center. But reality was absolutely shocking. When Rubin actually measured them, the outer stars weren't slowing down at all. No way! They were moving at a flat, constant rate, rocketing around the galaxy just as fast as the stars, much closer to the center. Think about what that actually implies. According to the standard, well-established laws of Newtonian physics, moving at those incredible speeds, the centrifugal force should have completely ripped those galaxies apart. Literally, those outer stars should have been flung out into deep space. Yet, they stayed exactly where they were, bound in perfect orbit. So what unseen force was actively providing this massive amount of extra gravity required to hold them so tightly in place? Section 3. Footprints in the snow. We call it dark matter, but honestly, that name is a little bit misleading. It isn't actually dark, like a pitch black room or a dense cloud of dust. No, it is completely, utterly invisible. We actually define it primarily by what it doesn't do. It absolutely does not interact with the electromagnetic spectrum. It doesn't emit, it doesn't reflect, and it doesn't absorb light. Light just passes straight through it as if it isn't even there, which is exactly why our most powerful radio, infrared, and optical telescopes cannot see it directly. We only know it exists because of its relentless, powerful gravitational effects on the visible matter around it. As the analogy goes, it's like seeing footprints in the snow without seeing who made them. You absolutely cannot see the culprit, but the evidence left behind by its gravity is simply impossible to ignore. And we see these footprints today through phenomena like gravitational lensing, where massive, invisible clumps of dark matter literally bend and magnify the light from distant background galaxies. It's literally warping the fabric of space-time itself around an entirely unseen mass. Which brings us to Section 4, weighing the cosmos. So according to our best current cosmological models, all the ordinary baryonic matter, the stars, the gas, the dust, basically everything we interact with, is just 5% of the universe. Dark matter makes up roughly 27%, and the remaining 68% is dark energy, which is this entirely different repulsive force driving the accelerated expansion of the universe. But just focus on that 27% for a moment. To put that into perspective, that means dark matter outweighs all the glowing stars, all the wandering planets, all the vast nebulae, and every visible galaxy combined, by more than 5 times. Really let this mind-bending reality sink in. The universe is physically dominated by a substance humanity has never actually seen. We are completely surrounded by, moving through, and vastly outnumbered by an unobservable dominant material that absolutely refuses to show its face.
Section 5. The Hunt.
Now, the scientific community isn't just sitting back and accepting this mystery. There is a massive global manhunt actively underway. Scientists have built incredibly sensitive detectors consisting of giant vats of liquid xenon, and they're burying them deep inside abandoned mountain mines just to shield them from cosmic radiation. They are desperately waiting for a single dark matter particle to bump into an atomic nucleus. Meanwhile, advanced space telescopes are mapping the cosmos to track its gravitational pull on a macro scale. Physicists are even using the Large Hadron Collider to smash protons together at near the speed of light. They're hoping the energetic debris might momentarily create a dark matter particle right here on Earth. Yet, despite decades of intense, multidisciplinary effort, it just continues to evade direct detection. Because the true nature of this substance remains totally unconfirmed, researchers are essentially divided into competing camps. The leading theory suggests dark matter is made of entirely undiscovered exotic particles left over from the Big Bang. You'll often hear these referred to as WIMPs, or weakly interacting massive particles, alongside other candidates like axions. But there's a competing, albeit minority, camp that takes a completely different angle. Proponents of modified Newtonian dynamics, or MOND for short, suggest there is no invisible matter at all. Instead, they argue that our fundamental mathematical understanding of how gravity itself works at galactic scales is simply incomplete and needs a total rewrite. So, the definitive truth? It's still out there waiting to be proven.
Section 6. Why dark matter matters.
You see, dark matter is essentially the invisible cosmic scaffolding holding much of the universe together in this vast, interconnected cosmic web. Without its massive gravitational pull acting as an anchor early in the universe's history, the normal gas and dust would have expanded way too quickly. It never would have clumped together enough within those dark matter halos to allow the very first galaxies to form. And without those galaxies providing a dense, stable environment, stars and their accompanying planetary systems would never have been born. Without stars forging heavy elements and stable planets to harbor them, life as we know it could never exist. So in a very strange but entirely literal way, the gravitational pull of dark matter is one of the fundamental reasons you are alive to watch this explainer today. So every night when you look up at the stars, just remember that what you can perceive is only a tiny, glittering fraction of what is actually out there. Hidden out there in the vast darkness between the galaxies is an invisible architecture shaping the entire cosmos on the largest scales imaginable. The universe is still keeping its biggest secrets securely hidden from us. So I leave you with this final thought. Will we finally catch this cosmic culprit, or will the hunt lead us to an even more profound mystery about the nature of reality itself? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep looking up.